They say you can't choose who you fall in love with. I didn't just learn that, I lived it, over the course of 3 unforgettable days that turned my world inside out. My mom has always adored chocolate. But after retiring, she finally followed her dream and started her own chocolate brand. She knew everything about cacao, bitterness, sweetness, texture, but almost nothing about business. That's where Nicole came in. They met on a Caribbean cruise, 2 women escaping the stillness of retirement. Nicole became her business partner. And when I met her, I stopped breathing. "Laura, this is Nicole," my mom said casually, like she was introducing any other person, not the woman who would make my pulse spike and my knees unsteady. Nicole smiled at me with quiet confidence, and just like that, I was drawn to her, like a moth to fire. I couldn't tell if it was all in my head, or if the spark was mutual. But something in her eyes lingered just a little too long. Over the holiday, I spent time at their small workshop, watching the 2 of them collaborate with seamless energy. They respected each other deeply, their connection built on friendship and shared vision. Then came the second night. Mom had a migraine and turned in early, leaving me and Nicole alone in the kitchen, tasting chocolates from a new supplier. She handed me a sample with a raised brow. I picked the safe flavor. "You're afraid to take risks," she said, watching me. "You barely know me," I replied. She smiled like she knew exactly what I'd say. Sometimes, we see our own fears reflected in other people. We stayed up talking until the stars faded. Her thoughts were sharp and poetic, her voice warm and grounded. By the 3rd day, every glance between us was electric. Every movement was careful, too careful. That night, I found her outside on the terrace, sipping tea beneath the stars. "You should go back to Boston tomorrow," she said softly, not looking at me. "Forget this." "This?" I asked, stepping closer. "What do you mean?" She finally turned. Her eyes betrayed her resolve. "Whatever's happening between us, it's not real. It's the thrill. The forbidden." "Don't tell me what's real for me," I said. She took a shaky breath. "I'm old enough to be your mother. I'm your mom's business partner. It would be a disaster." "Then why haven't you looked away once since I walked out here?" Nicole's expression shifted, softened. "Because you remind me of who I used to be," she whispered. "Of who I still want to be." And then, she kissed me. The world went silent. Time disappeared. There was no age, no roles, no logic, just us. Just that kiss. When we finally pulled away, our foreheads touched. "And now?" I asked, voice trembling. Nicole hesitated. "Now, you go back to your life. And I go back to mine." I left the next morning. Boston felt different. Sharper. Brighter. I returned to my studies with a fire I couldn't explain, carrying the memory of Nicole with me like a quiet ember that never fully burned out. It was brief. It was impossible. But it changed me forever.